All right, let's do a quick test. Let me know if you guys can hear me. We have the different mic, so we'll see. It looks like it. I see red bar moving, so it looks like we're good. Wait to see if you guys can hear me. All right. I did hit that button, did I? Yeah, I hit that button. Good. Cool. All right. So we're gonna do a little bit of an abbreviated chart school tonight. My voice is not holding great. I have a sore throat now. I was outside with a kid for like an hour and a half today throwing passes around, and I just don't do well in pollen. So my nose has just been a faucet. My voice is already starting to hurt. So we're going to do a bit of an abbreviated tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the pairs, the indices, and the commodities that I typically do for Nadex. So it's going to be shortened. For anything additional, make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. No, it's not a dry cough. No, it's just allergies. I haven't seen anybody that could have potentially had anything. So, yeah. No, not a dry cough. Definitely more just sore throat than anything else. But, yeah, it's allergies. I know exactly what it is. I was feeling better, and I stopped taking Zyrtec the other day. And then today when I came in from outside, I was like, man. I was like, I should have probably taken Zyrtec today. And I didn't. But, yeah, it's my fault. Totally my fault. But, like I said, I basically, like, from, like, 5 o'clock on, I told my kids, I'm like, don't get anywhere close to me, because then I have to talk. So stay away. The one boy brought me the cough drops. He's like, here, take these cough drops. They'll help you. I was like, yeah, I appreciate it. I just hate this time of year. This is the worst time of year for me. And like I said, you guys have heard me say this before. I don't have grass. So we live actually back in the woods. Like the house is situated with trees. Like we just mulch the entire front yard is just mulch. We're actually waiting for an order of wood chips now for it. But yeah. So it's one of those things that it's let me cancel that. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just a bad time of year, say the least. So anybody out there that has allergies, they know exactly what I'm going through. And yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. All right, so looking at the day today, for the most part, really not tons moved. Obviously, CAD, a little bit of, again, the CPI number is a little bit off. Pound hit it literally right on the head. Forecast was 1.5, came in exactly at 1.5. Oil forecast was just a slight miss. It was supposed to be 14.7, came in at 15. It was colored, but I wouldn't, zero point 0.3 when you're talking about 15 million, really no big difference, so I really didn't see too much in there. Looking at the overall prices for the day too, obviously the pound settled down today. Euro dollar down 42, and some of that is actually down more than that. It's retracing over the last hour. It's actually, you can see, is pushing back up again, but down 42 again. That's kind of what the normal boring day was before all the craziness. Pound dollar up 36, so it retraced some of its losses from yesterday. Dollar yen flat. Dollar Swiss up 25, so basically flat. Dollar CAD down 15, so a little bit of CAD's CAD strength coming back into the markets. Aussie dollar only up 15, so barely anything. Euro pound down 60, so that's really where the pound clawed most of its kind of losses yesterday back from. And then pound yen up about 39. And again, those two, basically all the pound pairs were down big yesterday, so not necessarily surprised. Drink wine makes you feel better. I do. That is why I'm 2 wines in. Yeah. Honestly, if it worked, I would try it. But it's one of those things. It's like, oh, I just need it needs to rain. Like we keep getting this message that it's going to rain. So it got really warm, and then like all the trees are dumping pollen, but we haven't actually gotten like a good rain. We've gotten like a little bit of like spitting, but we haven't gotten a good rain to like wash it. So like the car is green, all like the maple, those like little helicopter things that come out of trees. Those are like all over the place. So it's one of those, it's like hell week, basically, for allergies. If wine helped, I would, intravenously get it put in. So looking at tomorrow, okay, so tomorrow is where a lot of the red news is for the week, okay? A lot of the previous ones have already been adjusted to the downside. So the market has kind of had to adjust for this. And some of these forecasts are pretty bad. None of the forecasts are even close to 50. So all that comes in before 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Then at 8:30, we have the unemployment claim number. And the unemployment claim number should be interesting. That 4350 is obviously much less than the 5 million that they originally started with. Last week, they shot too high. The question is, will they miss this week again? And if they miss, if this is on the high side, again, it's kind of like, hey, this is 1 million less than it was last week. I mean, obviously, it's a finite number. There's only so many people that could be, claiming unemployment for the first time. But, again, all I'm seeing in the news now is talking about, the reopening plans. I saw somebody posted it earlier that the what is it, the Mercy or the Comfort, whatever the one is in New York, is leaving. I guess they only had like 170 patients in like a 3-week period of time. So, if they're leaving, or they're Trump is done with Como, or they said it just wasn't getting used to the fullest extent that they can move it elsewhere. So yeah, I don't know. And then I saw something from Sweden that basically didn't do the social distancing, and they have like a population that's like done. They're like, yep, we're out, we're finished with no social distancing. So I had the worst headache today. Yeah, I get sinus. I don't get the headache as much as I get like the sinus pressure around my eyes. So I'm right there with you, Debbie. Know exactly what you're talking about. Why after 10 a.m.? That's a breakfast drink. No. Hey, it's got fruit. It's fruit juice. Fruit juice is a breakfast thing. All right. So unemployment, and then obviously the flash manufacturing PMI numbers. Last time, 48.5 were just slightly below 50, which was a kind of, again, it's not great that it was, that close to 50. Or on the bottom side of 50, but it was projected to be much, much lower. So 35 is obviously going to be much, much lower. We'll see what it comes in tomorrow. But the unemployment claims and the flash manufacturing should be interesting, because when we had the really, really big numbers for unemployment, the market tended to rally, right? It tended to go up. If it's missing the downside, we'll see what it does. We'll see if it kind of does the exact opposite. And the flash PMI could also send the markets to the downside. So yeah, it should be an interesting morning. For those of you that saw earlier, I was having a conversation with Carl. I've been busy testing away an alert. So I'm not big into like doing alerts and things like that, but the indicator's been working so well, particularly in the morning hours. But one of the biggest problems is people missing the signals. Like you're just not getting back. You're like, oh man, that level was great, but I missed it. I just didn't have any way to get notified of it. Whether you're not setting alerts or you're just not used to it. You guys are pretty good with Discord, but what I was thinking about doing is I found a way to actually take the signals from my trading platform and actually shoot them right into Discord, into a special channel. So it's testing right now. I don't know if you guys can see it. Here, I'll pull it up. Zone alert right here. So these were the tests today. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can't make this one any bigger, but these were some of the tests. But when we finally got it working and kicking in, these were some of the these are coming directly from the Zone tool into Discord. So it's pretty nice. Like I said, there are certain time frames that I'm finding that are working good during certain hours of day. So it's going to be something that will have to be kind of manually manipulated around, but just always trying to make things better, and that's what we're kind of testing right now. Matt and I work on that today. So looks like it's working. We will see. I'm going to finish it out for the rest of the week. But those of you that have seen my crazy desktop with all my different pairs up there and time frames and things like that, that's what it's for. So yeah, it should be interesting. But like I said, having a channel that will give you the alerts will, I think, make it a lot easier for a lot of people, because instead of just having to sit there and just stare and wait, or relying on the alerts to pop up and things, we've made some improvements. I also downloaded from Matt today. I got the new indicators, so I will actually upload those tomorrow. Those are the ones that the ones you guys currently have expire in a week. The new ones will go up today, or probably tomorrow, and then you guys will be able to download those. It does have an added function. You'll see the X on there. All the X is going to do is basically refresh. If you have multiple charts up there, you guys know how sometimes where I have to like resync the pairs. Like I have to grab data from the higher time frames to kind of refresh the data. We've added a button. If you hit X, it will automatically refresh based off the time frame that you're on. So you don't have to kind of click up to the 4-hour and then back down to the 30-minute things. It should just automatically refresh them. It will pull the data naturally. So yeah, the alerts are kind of a pain in the ass, but what this alert will do is it's going to alert you when price hits a demand zone for the first time. It only works on the first one, so it's not like you're gonna get a bunch of alerts, but it will hit when it hits a demand zone. It will send an alert to this channel and let you know. And like I said, I'm probably gonna change. Like some zones work better on the hourly, some work on the 30 minutes. So that's kind of what I'm compiling right now to be able to include that into a channel. So yeah. I mean, it comes and it'll go right to Discord. Yes, I mean, like you can see, like you guys don't have access to it, you can't see it, but you guys see right here. Right? So below the weekly newsletter updates, you'll get this zone alert section here. Okay? You'll see that down there. That'll be something new that's kind of added in. I may do like a stupid, like cheap subscription on there just to help pay for, the the software behind it and managing it, maintaining it. We'll see. I haven't decided fully yet, but that'll be something that's probably offered as well. All right, so so that's kind of what we got going for tomorrow. So let's look at the scanner. So scanner, interesting place. So we did have some movement yesterday, and yesterday we had a couple different setups and anchor breaks and things like that. But it's pretty interesting. There's nothing like glaring across the board that I would say, hey, listen, this is what's standing out. Like one of the things is, for the most part, the Aussie is more or less, I mean, everything is consolidating down, right, on the dailies. Mostly all inside of a negative kind of bearish position. Right now, we did see that obviously the Aussie dollar was down and some of these other pairs today are down, but they're not really down huge, right? Not gigantic. But at the same time, you know, you look over inside of this CAD basket, and the CAD basket, again, you're seeing for the most part, I mean, all this up here is CAD strength, right? Or I'm sorry, yeah, CAD strength, right? Or I'm sorry, CAD weakness. CAD strength kicks in here, CAD strength kicks in here, and then CAD strength or CAD weakness comes in here. But they're all consolidated for the most part. And you can see your CAD's down 12. So technically it was a down day, you know, for the dollar versus the CAD strength, obviously, but everything is really consolidated. Even in the pound, there are some downtrend setups, at least in the pound, but again, it's versus the Aussie versus the CAD. And again, we know that the pound for the most part was up versus the dollar. It was up versus the yen. I'm sorry, it was up versus the yen, and it was up versus the euro. But yet everything over here is giving us, oh, it's sideways down. It's like, I mean, it pulled up today. Again, versus the euro, pulled up. So it's kind of misleading. And again, all the sideways movement like this is just crazy. I mean, this basically shows we got no movement. CAD basket is kind of the same way. All this consolidation. The euro, all this consolidation. And even the majors. I mean, basically the dollar Swiss, it's giving us a, you know, uptrend confirmed, but it's only moved 26 pips. Okay. Yen is up 2 pips in 24 hours. So that's giving us a confirm too, but we're only up 2 pips. So it's not like we can count on a whole lot. New Zealand is down slightly, and the euro, it's down, showing dollar strength, and it's down confirmed with setups on the 2 lower time frames, which makes sense because on the, you know, you guys can see here on the hourly 15 and 5, we're seeing that it is green. So it makes sense that we have the red and the green, the downtrend setup, but it's only down 43. So, you know, that's probably the big mover of the day today. I mean, maybe this as well. Maybe this as well. Again, the euro is gaining a little bit of strength back, it looks like, over here versus the pound. So, but for the most part, looking at the scanner, at least in the overnight settings right now, not a whole lot going on, right? Not a whole lot going on. So, kind of an interesting read, right? You know, it's kind of strange, right? Like I said, it's weird to see like an entire pair in consolidation mode, right? And again, really the euro, the Aussie, and the pound are more or less all there. And then, I mean, we're not really trading New Zealand CAD much and pound CAD. So kind of weird, right? Like I said, I think everybody's waiting until tomorrow. There will be a lot of movement tomorrow morning with all this flash news. The biggest ones are going to be to watch is the German data. Obviously the overall euro data, but the German data is actually more because it's kind of the front run for this other position, right? And then obviously the pound data will matter too because it will affect the pound news tomorrow independently. So, you know, pound dollar, pound yen, pound Swiss, pound Aussie, those will all be affected by these numbers. So a lot of news early in the morning. I'm interested to see really kind of how the alerts bounce tomorrow, and you know, kind of get some good readings on the 30 minutes and the hourlies tomorrow. And then again, 8:30 we jump into everything, and that's when all the dollar and the major pairs will start moving. So definitely a lot going on, right? Hey, do you think oil will go lower than it is already? Well, it's come back up a little bit, right? Versus what we had Tuesday, kind of, but not really. I cover oil right towards the end. I will cover it today. So if you hang around for about 40 minutes, it'll be, you know, I'll definitely jump in there. My opinion on oil right now is until demand resumes back in the market, though, I don't really see any reason why oil prices would go up. I mean, we had additional surplus today, meaning we have extra. Nobody's going back to work yet, so there's really no driving factors for it to really bounce or really go many places. So, you know, really at this point, it's kind of, I think it's as low as it's going to go. I don't think it'll go much lower, but I don't think it's it's not quite in a mood where it's going to go crazy. And I'll show you in a chart in about 30 minutes. All right, about 30 minutes. All right. Yeah, everybody loves oil. James knows 3 guys. Yeah, if James is let's see, is James in the chat already? Yeah, James is in the chat. So James has not only one guy, he's got an inside guy, and then he's got a guy that works for the inside guy. Because remember, it's never the main guy. It's the guy that works for him that knows everything. So James can give you his opinion, give us some information on that one. But yeah, I wouldn't say we're entering the great bull market for oil. by any means. Not until the United States is fully reopened and everybody's back to work. But yeah, so James has like one inside guy that works for him, and then the main guy. Yeah, oil has surpassed toilet paper as a hot commodity. Everybody's just trying to figure it out. I was like, oh god. Yeah. All right. So with that said, let's jump over into charts. Actually, pull this out, and we'll start over here on the Aussie. One thing I like about this one too, guys, is this actually sits on top of things. I mean, again, there's different code with MT4, and this is one of those ones that's like, man, you can really see this here, right? You can really see it. All right. So we'll move this off. So as you guys can see on the daily, right, we're continuing to push to the downside. We've had a pretty healthy turn from some of these levels over here, right? The impulse correction, and now we're already starting to paint red. The ATR is definitely dropping back down again. Not quite back to normal, but we're getting close to where we should be. We're still at about 95 pips. You guys can see the average is about 54 to 60 in that range. So still a little bit high, but that's okay, right? Dropping down to the 4 hour, you can see there's a couple different zones in here that we need to look at. Obviously, we have the top peak, but this one right here, we didn't even make it back to it today, and we had a pretty nice move off of it, right? So where it is right now, it looks like it's starting to push back down. Dropping it down to the lower time frame gives us a little bit better of a view. Now, here's a hand-drawn zone from earlier, but you guys can see we're kind of bracketed in here on the hourly. Now, there is a zone sitting down here, and this zone is about... talking about 15 pips, so it's not necessarily the worst level. I don't know if I would play it in the overnight, but I would like it for it to come back down to that area. I think if it could get down to this area tomorrow morning before the unemployment news, I do think this would be a good long to take. And again, you can take this in Nadex in a couple different ways. But even with 15 pips, I think would be okay. But a lot of it depends whether or not the zone holds in the overnight, okay? If it continues to rally up, we may see, some type of a short area. Although, looking for shorts, I think, let's see, let's test it. There you go. Do you guys see how that disappeared? I didn't have to change it. That's what the X key is for. As far as shorts go, we do have a level sitting right above where we are. It's about 30 pips, okay? It can move that in the overnight. The risk on this one is about 11, so it's small, but it's not the first touch of this area. It got hit here, it got hit here, and it got here. So really, I mean, I either want this to come down and collapse into that zone before tomorrow, or I want it to come all the way back up again. So really what I'm thinking is if we can get back up to that level, this area right here, I'm good, okay? Same thing on the bottom. If we can get down into this level, but on the hourly, right, starting right about there, I'm also good. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm putting it for shorts and for longs on this one, either direction. I'd like to be there before news tomorrow. If it gets broken through or kind of is basing, we're gonna have to get some levels in the morning. But as far as overnights go, again, European session, the PMI numbers will bounce this around. I'd like to be there for it and like to know what's going to happen. So for me, selling at 63.82 and buying down here at 62.80. I'm sorry, 62.68. Going across the yen. So as you guys can see, we had a level kind of drawn up here and never even filled the gap on the Aussie yen. Kind of a similar kind of push to the downside on this one, right? On the 4 hour, you can see we've hit this top zone a few different times. Okay, we've marked this one off for a little while now. And we tagged it at push down. We tagged it at push down. Every time it is basically gone all the way down to its 1 to 3, right? It's gone a little bit deeper this time, but it's moved there pretty much every single time. So we know that this zone is definitely valid. Now, it hasn't made much progress into this zone, okay? That zone is sitting right here at 68.88, okay? Normally, we like to start saying that zones are going to be breaking when they hit a third or fourth time, and this technically was touched once, but the fact that these two barely grazed the zone, you still got to believe there's going to be some sellers up in that area. Now, again, this is on the 4 hour, so the zone's a little bit big. There, you can drop it down to an hourly. You can kind of see kind of what it looks like. So in this one, you can see I have a hand-drawn zone lower. I don't think there is. Yeah, it's giving us one a little farther back, right? Here's not bad. It's not bad, but this one had nice movement that kind of bounced off of it. So kind of the same idea. If price comes up into this 68.88, again, I'd be looking to get short on this one. There's two zones. Here's a little bit more aggressive, and then you have this more conservative one down here at 66.69. The more aggressive one is going to be sitting right here at 67.40-ish. Actually, you know what? Let me drop down. Yeah, see, it's marking it off on the lower time frame. So, whoops. Let me bring this back. Sorry. It'll be in that area there. And then this will be sitting in this area right there. Okay. And again, you guys can't see it here. Actually, I guess I could go down and we could do the overlay. And you guys can get kind of a better view. Okay. So this zone here is kind of what you're looking for. That's funky. Wait a second. Huh. Oh, I guess it's showing now. That's weird. It wasn't showing up here. We're able to see it there. Okay. So there and there, these two zones in there, I'm not as worried about. I wouldn't focus on those two. This is a nice move. This one, it was a gap level, but it wasn't really the best kind of bounce off of it. And again, here is just a retest of this level. So it's going to be the bottom one here, and let me put some check marks on it. It's going to be here, this one up top, and this one up down the bottom for news preparation tomorrow. Okay, now again, Aussie yen is going to be a nice one to play as well because again, it is affected by gold as well as yen associated with the U.S. stock market. So either way, it's kind of one of those pairs that the dollar's not in there, but it is directly, both pairs are directly affected by the dollar, not only because of inflation reasons of gold, but also because of the index itself. Okay, I don't think so. Screen shouldn't be back. Yeah, it shouldn't be black. All right, so let's jump over into Euro Yen. So Euro Yen on a daily, you guys can see it's actually pushing into a weekly zone right now. All right, let's get these off. All right, there we go. So you can see we are starting to get down to an area where we're looking for some shorts or for some longs, right? It is pushed down. It's hit this area one other time before. We'll drop the lower time frame. You can get it kind of a better view, and actually we lose it there. Actually, you know what's good? I keep forgetting about the overlays on this one. So you can see this is what the setup is. So we have a green bar, and hopefully you guys can see the dots on this one. But basically, we have one level here where we're kind of bouncing off of. We have one a little bit below it. And let me go backwards so we can kind of see it. Man, it's been forever. Come on. There it was. So here's the actual zone itself. So we can bracket the bottom there, and we can bracket the top. Really, probably there is probably fine. So you guys can see there's more where the zone is that I'm looking for in this area right here. Okay, so this one's a bit close, and like I said, this one may go through in the overnight. It's bounced here, got close, bounced again. It's going to come back down and bounce again. So for this one, I'm looking at potential longs sitting at here, 111. I'm sorry, 115.31. Downside wise, this one's a little bit more difficult. Let me blow the indicator out of there. There we go. A little bit of a delay there. I have two platforms open right now, but I'm trying to run the test in the background, so that's why it's slowing this client down. On this one, although there's a zone here and we had nice movement off of it, I do like the top one a little bit better. Okay, that top one is starting around 1726. Okay, I think that's a great area. The last time it was up, again, it hit this area. Nice red, nice green, nice red back to the downside. Front run, barely touched. Front run again, didn't get up there even with this big spike again, and then got turned around again. So for me, it looks like it's a pretty clean level up here. You know, something along those lines. Right about there. 1 to 3, great place. Like it, you know, again, we'll see what the spike looks like up, but I think that's a great little short setting up there. And again, that's one I'll be watching tomorrow. And that is on the hourly. Okay. And again, based off of this zone, not this first one. If you really want to be aggressive, then sure, take that one. But I think the top one, being a little bit more conservative on this one, is I think a little bit safer. Only about a 16 pip range. So again, rather small range. Looking at pound yen. Now pound yen is up 32, so kind of a flat day. As you guys can see, this bounce off of a zone that we had been talking about in the past. There we go. Nice push. We finally broke through. So from that area, we had a failure to go higher where this green actually hit. We had another little attempt, got front run, and then 3 days of down, a little bit of a pullback, and now we're starting to see some red again. So overall, I would say that this pair is really making an attempt, and we'll see how much farther it can go. The 4 hour shows that there's really not a whole lot. There's a small level sitting right above, right about in this area. I wouldn't say it's the best area. I mean, it's not bad. It is a zone. And, you know, to the downside, there's just a bunch of wicks. So there's, you know, not the cleanest levels on the bottom either. Hourly kind of gives us a little bit more of a view. So the fact that we've taken not only a bounce, but then this kind of initiated it, we need to respect this zone down here. And this zone is starting off at 132.10. So definitely an area that you should watch out for tomorrow. Now, the reason I'm telling you to watch out for it is if you were up in the morning for the pound flash manufacturing PMI and the services PMI, that could be a level that we look for whether a bounce off of or a long if we can kind of push down there in the overnight. The top side, we're a little bit farther away. You know, you're talking about 170 pips. Now, not that it can't move 170 pips, but that's quite a bit of a distance to overtake in you know, from now till when the news release is. What I'm thinking on that one is we're probably going to have to look for some type of a bounce off of that area here and taking that as kind of the top side. This is just too far away. I don't think we're going to have enough time for that to really kind of kick in. I think this is probably this white zone right here. I think that's probably where we're going to bounce off of. And, you know, where current price is right now, that's about 60 pips away. That would make sense. That's about what we should move for this, you know, if there's a big miss on this flash services. And being kind of smack in the middle, this kind of gives us a top range and a bottom range to be able to kind of get in. Now, you can dial the zones down. Again, this zone is not, I don't think it's that big. Yeah, you're talking about 12 pips on the top and about 18 or 19 on the bottom. On an hourly for the pound yen, that's not too bad. So these are, again, these are new zones. These are not the old crazy zones. So that's not going to be bad. I don't think either one of those two is, you know, horrible. All right. Looking at pound dollar. So pound dollar on the daily, kind of the same thing, right? We kind of turned around in the zone, but we are starting to approach a zone of daily supply or daily demand. We got front run and it did kind of bounce. So it was pretty close. Okay, you guys can see here. I'll move this out of the side. You can see that there was a zone and it just missed it. So pretty close. And this one should actually be there. Oops, not there. Like there. Okay. 4 hour wise, again, we're not kind of at either level, but here's where I'd bracket the bottom side. And there's where I'd bracket my top side. As far as buy and sell orders on 4 hour. Let's see what we got on the hourly. 30 minutes not giving much. Hourly, so I like this. I like this zone right here. Okay. Reason why, I don't want to do it off that candle. I'm going to do it off that candle. Reason why I like that is because look at the nice push out of here. This is a pretty explosive push. A huge drop, a little bit of a base, and then a huge drop again. This one kind of stretch right here is only rivaled by this big drop out of here, okay, to the downside. So it obviously took some power to punch that through. This one is not bad, but if anything, this is more just a retrace back again. So that's not a bad level. This is also not horrible. It's okay. It's not horrible. It kind of stalled just slightly before, probably why the indicator didn't grab it and mark it. It's about 50 pips to the downside and about 83 to the top side. So although I do like this top and bottom, right? These are 4 hour zones. These two smaller white ones may be the places to kind of go on this one. And again, I mean, you know, lower time frames, you guys can see kind of, you know, those areas are marked off. I'm just grabbing them on the hourly versus doing them down here. But you can see that the green and the red are sitting right inside those zones. I just was able to hand draw them based off of this level. So I think those are the best two. You know, I know this level here, but this is a little kind of retracement off of this, and this is nothing really. I'm not worried about that little line there. So maybe a little bit of a hiccup on that. But I think top and bottom on this, again, shorter term here. And here are both going to be entries. And the risk is not big. I mean, this one has 22 pips on the top side or on the bottom side, and you're talking about 18 pips on the top side. Okay, so not bad, right? Not bad for the movement that we've had in this pair. Okay. Okay, euro pound. So euro pound is down about 59 pips. So it's the biggest mover of the day. You can kind of see the pullback here on the daily. All right. Now, 4 hour wise, you can see that this one really didn't have a lot of explosive movement, right? Didn't have a whole lot of explosive movement whatsoever. Looking top and bottom, I would not use this bottom line. Although it did not pierce it, it spent so much time in this level. I just can't go there, right? Dropping it down to an hourly. I don't need that one. Let's see. Yeah. So, what it's doing, there's a little zone. So obviously a huge movement. There's going to be something right there. There's going to be a bit of a hiccup, right? It's about 40 pips. So that is kind of well within range. You guys can see it over here. I'm thinking that's what we're going to have to use. Yeah, so that's what we're going to have to use. So this white zone, again, I did it off the hourly. You could use it on the 30-minute if you really wanted to, but I think the hourly is a better draw. I think this is a little bit too narrow for this position. Here. And here. Would be top side and bottom side. 88.01 and 87.33. I think those are your tops and bottoms. Again, in the middle, we got plenty of time. We got, what, 6 hours before the London Open. The first flash that comes in is French flash services and manufacturing at 3:15. So got a couple hours to go, more than enough time for it to kind of come up and down. If we're sitting up in the upper range, again, we're going to be more likely to be looking for shorts for that one, and bottom range into this 88.33, looking to go long for that one. Okay, so there's our top and bottom frames of this one. The euro dollar. Euro dollar is down 36, although it is retracing. Now this one you guys can see, it's really, and again, I'll move these kind of out of the way. We'll probably need them in a second. But you can see we're sitting in an area of demand. Okay, it's hitting, the ATR is dropping down. It's running out of some power. I mean, it's sitting down here. Again, not a bad place to be for all this news in the morning time. On the 4 hour, you can see that the little dots are overlaid a little bit. Again, it ran across the daily. It didn't actually break into the 4 hours. Get rid of these. There we go. Okay, dropping it down to an hourly, you can see that this is really the biggest bit of movement we had today. We were kind of going back and forth in a channel, and overall that channel was really just kind of sitting from here to here. You know, we flirted with the top, bottom, almost back, bottom again, top, bottom, and then kind of came back over in here. So, and we're at the bottom. So, been flirting more or less with the sideways channel, and now that we've broken the bottom, you can see that it is now retracing back up again. So, big question is, it's finally broken out, right? We are out. Top side, the way that this dropped around with these 5-6 candles, this is a valid level, okay? That's a valid entry, and where the 1 to 3 and 1 to 5 is, not a bad spot. So good spot up there. Let's drop this here, okay? Downside, now downside's a little bit more difficult, okay? So although we had a nice kind of takeoff and a pop here, it did spend a lot of time here, right? It didn't go as low as down here, so there's probably some buyers in here. That's the only way that the price was able to jump up that far. Here, there's a little bit of a retest. This is a much, much cleaner level down here. Now, we can't even see it right now. It's actually this one down here. So it's about 125 away. So kind of a far distance, if anything, right? If anything, this level down here, this would be for US time, okay? If the European data is bad enough, we could see a collapse all the way down to this level. And then for US numbers, this would give us the ability to take a long, okay? I don't know if it's going to be that bad. Like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. It's an if this, then that time frame. Smaller time frame ways that you could play this. Unfortunately, you guys can see we lose all of the downside. So unfortunately, it's not big enough to actually show us a whole lot. So I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of either of these zones. They're both about 9. If anything, this one is better. This one just spent so much time there, going up, going down, going up, then finally pushed out. This is, again, this is a nice little push, retest, and then boom. So of these two, if we can get down to here before the London Open, before the London news kicks in, that could give us some of the desired kind of up pushes. Okay. I think it's the best thing we're going to have on that one. I was hoping we were a bit closer to this one, but this one is good. I like this 106.91. Like I said, if we can get down to there, if the European news is bad, that gives dollar strength on this one, and this thing pushes down and we're sitting down there at 8:30 tomorrow morning, that could be a place for us to go long in this pair. Showing dollar weakness. Again, it would make sense. Again, euro weakness all night long with bad European news. We come down, and then it's the U.S.'s turn. The U.S. comes in with bad news and then retraces it all back up again, and we basically have a flat day. You know, going long here. You guys can't see that color. Something along those lines. Turn this to red. Something along those lines. Okay. All right. So that gives your top and bottom. So dollar CAD. So this is kind of the first kind of oil play, right? Proxy, right? Basically, as you can see, again, it's kind of, it's consolidating. That we're coming in again. It was a break sideways. I wouldn't say it was anything explosive out of the top, but things are consolidating back in, right? We're in an uptrend. We had an uptrend set up. We are a little bit green right now, so it's a little bit in there, right? 4 hour wise, this is what we're getting. Okay, so looking for big explosive moves on this one. Obviously, the top one is going to be good, but in here, I like this one. All right, this one is just a wick over wick, but it's in front of the zone. So this was a nice little pop there, and then this guy right here. Price gapped into that level and then took off. So those are the two red checks. Both of those are pretty nice levels. Let's see what we have that's tradable in the morning. So here's the hourly. I wouldn't actually use that zone. I would actually draw this up here in that zone. Yeah, there you go. Looks like the 30-minute wants to mark that. Yeah, and I like that one too. All right, so here I'll go down to this. I will move this into that range. So it just blocks over it, and then I'll go back up to the hourly. So I don't have the fib on this one. Oops, I turned it off. I like that area. And I like that area. Although I don't know why. Hold on. Hold on. I was like, wait a second. Why is it no longer? There we go. Is it that one? Hold on. Yeah, it's that one. It's too much on that one. Basically, there's your top side. Sitting up in this area. Okay. And then longs are coming in around here. Approximately that level. Okay. Right about in there. All right. Now, again, a lot of this is going to depend on news. We kind of pop up in the overnight. We're sitting up here before those news kicks in at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Start looking for some, nice little positions. This one is not too much risk either. It's about 18 pips. This lower level is a little bit bigger at basically 28. We can shrink it a little bit down if you wanted to shrink it down to here using the 30-minute. That's not a horrible zone either. Oops. Man, I keep turning that thing off. Yeah, that's not too bad there. Yeah, it's about 25. Okay, about 25. Trying to see if I could get that. I don't think I can put 2 in there for that zone. Oh, maybe. There you go. Not too bad. All right. And again, that's off the hourly and the 30-minute refinement. Okay. Again, use the prices on yours. It is currency. The price is going to be a little bit different on each individual chart. So dollar yen. All right. So dollar yen's got all kinds of stuff going on. So dollar yen, again, sitting in an area of demand. We've had some problems really doing much, right? Kind of bouncing back and forth, right? Not doing anything. It's really more or less over the last couple of days has flatlined. There's really been no U.S. news, so I do expect it to move a bit more tomorrow. Here's what we got on the 4 hour, and I'll stretch it out as much as I can. You can see there's really just not a whole lot of excitement in this one. Here's your hourly. Here's a level that we drew for Nadex on Tuesday, and you can see that it's come up. It's hit it once, it hit it again, and has been front run a few times. Downside, it actually hasn't really made it back down to this level. It's just been consolidating. So the highs have basically formed lower, and the lows have gotten a bit, a bit on the downside, right? A bit higher, but giving us less opportunity, unfortunately. You can see that the ATR is just continuing to collapse here on the hourly. So going into tomorrow, there's 2 levels, and again, it's going to depend. We are so close to this level right now, and this is the hourly. We're only about 19 pips. It can absolutely move 19 pips from now till the morning time, so that's something I'm a little bit concerned about. The zone here, I would actually probably draw it a bit lower. probably more. I would say that originally this is more where the zone is. Okay. Dropping it to an hourly. Let's see if I can refine it more. Not really, not by much. Along those lines. Okay. So although it's kind of going through, that's going to be your 4-hour zone is right there. So you can take the aggressive side, but just be cautious if it does kind of pop through. And again, on the hourly, you guys can see here. Here's that original thing. Again, it's bracketed, so we'll take that off. I'll just do this, make it a little easier for you guys to see. We'll just do everything off the hourly. So this zone up top, this zone right here is going to be a good zone. Again, we had a nice pullback here. It's been basically retested twice, although it's done pretty well. Now, if tomorrow morning we've already pushed up and we've kind of bounced around and we've gone just a little bit higher, we look like we're pushing, this is the one we're looking at for news tomorrow morning. Okay. This level here. Okay. That's not a bad little zone. This is the start of this entire push to the downside. It dropped the base right below the level, which is great, and then just slam it, just hammered it down, right? That was the start of this big move. So that's definitely a fine level. This is a little bit more aggression. If we can get up into that zone, and if we don't break in the overnight, there could be something small there. This one I would not use. This one wouldn't use as well. It's been hit multiple times. Again, this top one here, it's been hit numerous times. This would be push number 4 through it. So I'm not as excited about that one. Let's see. Should refine that one a little bit lower. Yeah, we can actually shrink that a little bit. You could actually shrink that to there if you really wanted to. What kind of risk we got on that? It's about 14. Yeah, so you can shrink it a little bit. You can drop from 18 down to 14 in that one. Bring that one down to 107.05 instead of the top of that zone if you really like. But I think we're pretty safe on either of those two. I think those will be whoops. No, I can't find the button. Oh, well. There we go. It's like, whew, what's it doing? Right there. She needs to go just a little bit higher. Right there. All right. So there you go. There's your top and bottom on that one, depending on what news comes in. And remember, once that news hits at 8:30, around the 9:30, 10:30, again, that's where you drop these down to the hour or 30 minutes. This one's been doing pretty good with those. There was a nice little setup here. There was actually one earlier today as well, based off of 30-minute. Okay, in this range, nice little grab. Actually, it came originally from this level here. Okay, and that was a 30-minute grab this morning. Okay. All right. Oh, I deleted that thing again. My fault. Hold on. My bad. Right there. Right there. All right. There we go. Good. Got it at the time. All right. Dollar Swiss. All right. So dollar Swiss, you can see, is actually bouncing out of a level right now. This one also consolidating a bit down. There's a bunch of little levels sitting in here that it needs to run through and kind of push through. On the 4-hour, you can see we're in a small area of basing right here. There's nothing super clean until we get much farther up top. Here's what we got right now. Okay, these are alerts to the top side, so let's delete the alerts to make this a little bit easier. Oh, there's a thing back there. There we go. All right, so I'll show you where these things are at. All right, so this level's been hit. Okay, this was, again, analysis from Tuesday. And as you can see, the 30-minute on this one is done quite well for itself. Let's see. I just get rid of all these. It doesn't matter. 4-hour wise, this is a nice pop. We are sitting about 60 pips away. Don't know that we'll be able to overtake 60 pips unless the European news is really, really bad and they're talking about spreading a contagion. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it'll be that bad. So I don't think we can get up to that zone. But if we can rally up in the overnight and get up to this 4-hour zone, it's not gigantic. It's about 20 pips. That's not a bad place to take a short for this news today or tomorrow if we're expecting bad news. And again, really top and bottom here and here, both great levels. This definitely turned this around. And again, in stopping this kind of free fall, there's definitely some buyers sitting down on this level. Same, likewise up here, this was the start of this entire push down. So we're kind of bracketed, but on lower time frames is where we're going to have to spend a lot of more of our time. Downside, obviously, we have a zone sitting down here approximately around, let's see, sitting around 96.60. We've hit it once and twice before, and kind of this was its way out. Hasn't been a bad zone. It actually initiated farther back, and it's kind of right here, so it's not the cleanest of areas, but it's not horrible. The zone down here is actually a much better quality zone. It's just so far away right now. It's 120 pips away, so I don't think that we're going to be able to get down there by tomorrow. And if we do spike that low, that's, again, we can get there, but I think that's an after the news move. We'll see what the news move is when it comes out. So Swiss of all of them, I don't have as many setups on. Literally most of these kind of the short-term stuff. And, we had, let's see, this hit at, 8 o'clock this morning? Yeah, 8. 9 o'clock was right in here, and this was kind of the takeoff point earlier today. So it's really just gone in one direction. Haven't had a whole lot of setups except this little top one right here, and that was about, 2 hours ago, to the downside. And I think it's done now, right? Yeah, no, not yet. It's still got some room to run. A little bit. Okay. To the downside. Oh, you know what? I forgot to save that other one. Let me do it real quick. Hold on. Close. Let's make sure it's saved. Yep. Okay. Take this off. Don't forget, guys, this is how you save these things, so it does take you a long time. Save template, Nadex Gray. There we go. All right, so now to be on all of them. All right, so let's go into the indices now. All right. NQ first. So NQ, you guys can see, took a nice little bounce off of, I think it was a 4-hour zone, right? It collapsed into it and then had a nice little push up. Now, this is what we have going on. And again, some of this may actually be the market preparing for the news tomorrow. Because again, that does tend to happen, right? We prepare, the market positions itself, preparing for where the news is supposed to be to either give it an inflated price so they can sell it for more money, or they get it on sale. Okay, so today we came down, we bounced right off of this level. It was a level of basing. It started on the 4-hour. You guys can see it also on the 1-hour as well. Easy level to pick out. I mean, this is one of those ones that I mentioned. Hey, listen, the price gets down here, we're probably good to go. And we were good to go. I mean, nice rally off of this. Now, hourly wise, we are sitting in a level. And there's 2 levels in here. There's a small one right here, right? Small zone right now, and that's kind of what we bounced off of. And again, on the 30-minute, that one's going to be marked. And then there's also one sitting right above. Now, dropping to the 30-minute, you guys can see, again, it refines these levels that we did on the higher time frames. And you can see we took a bounce right off. Carl actually got this one earlier. Let me change the template to Nadex Gray. You guys can see it's already hit its 1 to 3 and almost made it down to its 1 to 5. It did get front run a little bit on that one. And actually that 1 to 5, I would have been okay with that. We got front run just a bit on that. But your 1 to 3, it actually, absolutely crushed that target on the 30-minute. Nice zone. Again, it picked kind of this top section. That was the indicator drew it the exact right way on that one. Again, you can see it on the hourly, but dropping it down to here really refines it down to a lower level. So that zone got breached about that far. So it's probably okay. It's not going to be a zone that if the market's going to really rally or go crazy, like a stimulus number or something like that, that zone's not going to hold. We're going to have to go here or here for that one. Again, we'll get a better gauge in the morning about what the distance is and use the ATR to kind of figure out if those make sense. But that's really a nice little level there where that popped off of. Again, if we can pull up to that number again around this, and again, check it on yours because this is ECN based data, right here around this 86, basically 8690, 8698 range. If we can get there before news tomorrow, that could signal some type of a short position, maybe a shorter duration binary in that one could be the way to play it. The news tomorrow is at 8:30, so there could be some nice little plays on some of the lower time frame positions on that one, or the shorter duration contracts. Keep those the strike prices a little bit closer, not as much premium baked into it. Although I'm afraid there's probably going to be a ton for that. Everybody knows about the unemployment claims number now, so probably not as good anymore. But again, could be a nice little setup. The risk on that one was actually not that big. 190. So again, nice bounce off of it. It's something you want to take. Again, Nadex would be a nice little place to take it. Oh, you know what? Let me check this real quick. Man, my voice is starting to go. let me check something real quick on this. I'm going to pull up a notch. I'm going to see if you guys don't need my credit card information. Let's see. Aha. It was there. Oops. So, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I think I can make it bigger, right? Yep. There we go. So, 86.98. 86.99. Okay. So, is there a touch bracket if we can kind of get close to that area? Yeah, there's one that's pretty close. Okay. So if we can get up in that range before the news, there is a potential touch bracket that you can take very, very small amounts of risk on. There is one just a little bit higher. Again, that zone here, this zone goes to, right, 87.20. So if we are up in this range, we also have the ability to take the touch bracket just slightly above. There is an 87.29 that is just slightly higher, okay? Just slightly higher. Now, there is this 86.69. That 86.69 is right. 86.69 is right here. You guys can't see that one. Not dark enough. Okay. 86.69 is right there. So this is an interesting one because this touch bracket will get blown up when it. But if price comes back up, this one's going to get blown up, and another one is going to print above this, which may give us a stop just slightly on the other side of this, and that may be the one that we actually play. So interesting. We got one right here that's really, really close. We have one on the other side of our risk level, and we have one that's going to break if price gets up to there, and we may get some type of an entry on that one. Let's see. 54, we're good. 55, we are good. 5609. Let's see. Where is 5609 on here? 5609. Okay, so that's that's to the downside. So, just seeing where this one would break. That would be interesting if that came down. 56. That may also. Actually, we may want that to come down and break that. If that comes down and breaks, we may get one actually right in the middle of that, in the middle of that range. It'd be interesting. I'd have to see on that one. But again, a couple different options. What are the costs on touch brackets right now? I mean, right now where it's at, I mean, we're at what, 86.25. I mean, we got nothing close. Nothing close. I mean, the closest one right here is going to be 86.69. And 185 risk. Yeah. Nothing. They're too far right now. They're too far right now. Like I said, it's a great level, but you want to get it closer. It's in the middle of the bracket. If anything, right now, this bottom one right here, this one, right? This has the closest to, proximity to price right now. We're at, 86.37, right? So, I mean, the best that you can offer right now would be here, right? If you wanted to play this up to the level and get about $70 worth of risk on it. 70 risk for 512 or 529, which breaks at 87.59, which is here for that level. Okay. So, and that would be a break here, current price here. So you're looking at current price is here. Would be your red level in that one, and then here would be your green level. Oops, nope, not buy limit. Stop doing that. There you go. That's kind of what it is right now, Ernest. Yeah, if we can move that far, but that's kind of pushing through two levels and maybe a bit much. But it doesn't mean that it couldn't happen. Like I said, you have to see a thing. Don't worry about the break on the green side. Stick to your target. How you with it? Love when you guys are talking. Love when you guys are doing that. Yeah, so it's not a horrible trade setup right now. Like I said, it has the ability to push a little bit lower. You know, right now, I mean, again, we are pushing up, and again, this could be a fail to go higher. I mean, it can definitely push down and get a little bit lower in preparation for tomorrow. There are some buyers a little bit lower, so it's kind of like if you want to, I don't even think. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's something, a good area of buyers below. I was hoping there'd be something sitting in here, but not really. Well, I mean, it's a little bit, but nothing spectacular. Nothing super crazy. But yeah, so I mean that's what you have right now. But like I said, I think that the safest way to play this would be drop it on the 30-minute, look for this zone first. And again, we already know that there are some buyers sitting in this area here, and again, there's some buyers sitting up in there. So interesting value, right? Interesting value on that one. So that's NQ, S&P 500, a great bounce off of this level. We talked about it before about price coming down, and we'd see what it would do from this level. We talked about it last night, and it took about 2 hours. It came down and hit this level, hit that target. We were actually up. Here, let me refresh. Here's where we were, or here's where we are now, and here's where we were right over here. Okay, from that level. So nice push off. We're in a level right now. I mean, we're in an area right now where it's like, hey, listen, you got to respect this. That we could be turning and flipping to the downside. On the 30-minute, you can see kind of the same idea, right? There would be your level, there would be your touch, and there's your push down again. So very, very similar. I mean, it doesn't look that much different. Let's see. Again, nice push here. This is probably a little bit better. What does this look like for the S&P? Let me shrink this back. Let's see. Let me do this real quick. Let me pull some of these out real quick. I'd like to see where this level is. And I'd like to see where current price is. And I want to see where this is going to be way too far away. 27. Yeah, way too far away. 27, 26. Yeah. Way too far. And that's basically, those are the only two numbers that are really going to make much of a difference right now. So this is kind of what we're looking at. So this guy right here, I think, is going to get popped right before we get to that level. Unfortunately, it's the ceiling on that one is 28.29. This level comes in at 28.31, so it's just above. There is a wick over wick, so yeah, I don't know. You could try to scalp that one, but I think that'd be pretty difficult. This other one is, oops, 28.09. There is a 28.09 right there. But unfortunately, that 28.09 is right at the beginning of the level. So it's kind of the same situation. Both these two brackets in here are literally right above. Now, there's a 29.18. Ooh. That may be something to play. So there's it's the top of that range. Give yourself a little bit of buffer is right at that 28.17 number. So if we can get back up into that zone, right, this pink zone right here, the top of it is 28.1750. You can see we have a 28.19 right here. Okay. Now, again, too far away. There's no reason to price it out right now. It's going to be a bit too high. But when we start entering that zone, again, that could be a possible trade that it'll get very, very small. The closer that gets to that zone. So that could be another one too. So mark that off on your, on your chart. As far as things to look at, the S&P has a, potential setup, and this one is literally $1, 1 point past where the zone is. So again, if it goes past that zone, we're wrong anyway. So that one's set up nicely. Yeah, that one's good. I like that one. Looking at the Dow, let's see. What do we got with the Dow? Again, nice turn on the Dow on the daily, 4 hour. Just one pop and it just based. It didn't do much. Kind of back and forth. So this one's got a little zone sitting right here. But we're not quite at it. Let's check this one. I think the S&P is going to be the one to trade. Let's see. Just trying to get price levels before I pull the other chart up. Okay, let's go back across. Let's look at Dow. If you guys can hear the baby. She's like, no. All right, so let's see here. 23,700. Yeah, it looks like the top one is sitting right here. 23,770 isn't, it's in the middle of that zone, right? It is, let's see. Oops. 23, what did I say it was? 23,770. 23,770. It's sitting right there. So it's in the upper reaches of that zone. That's not a horrible one. It is cutting a little bit close. You guys can see that coming through. So that's the top bracket here. You guys can see where do these start breaking. Current price is at, well, this one right here. See this 23,070? Let's see, where is the bottom of that? 23 over here. Current price. Let's see. Let me pull that back up. So if price in the overnight comes down to this level, right, the bottom of this will break at 23,009, which is, this is okay, but it's still a bit far apart. You got 30 points in there, so it's not great. We're at 23,400 right now. So this guy and this guy will both break if price moves up. It'll end up being one of these two touch brackets in here. Okay. One of these two would give us kind of the sweet spot in here to have this just on the other side of that zone. So touch bracket 52 or touch bracket 49, these would be one of the twos that would need to break if price rallies up on this one. Again, if we go down, what do we got here? This one is the closest to breaking right now at 270. 270 and 170. So these two, this would break and give us probably the best long option to go from this zone. Okay, so I like the S&P 500 the most. There may be something if this one moves enough before tomorrow, but I think S&P is the way to go with those. All right, so let's pull gold. Okay, gold had a pop, right? Popped up in gold. Again, like I've been saying, I've been bearish gold. We did get a pop in this one, though. Again, this could be in preparation for tomorrow, stimulus, whatever. Here's the hourly. You can see that it didn't quite get to a zone. We had a little bit of a level. Now, there was a gap. This was an area where we did have something marked off right there. It front run that and kind of continued down. The way it's looking now, I mean, it made an attempt. It tried to push higher and then got forced back down again. So there are some sellers sitting above this order, right? Are sitting above this area looking like it wants to push it down. I don't know if the price is high in preparation for tomorrow, or they're expecting more stimulus to kind of come back in the market. Whenever there's been stimulus in this one, this is what jacks this one up, and then it slowly retraces back down again. So, today was an up day, but we had been pushing down all week, and again, came off a clean zone. There was a zone sitting right here that we had marked off. We talked about how this and pushed up, slowly kind of chopped through, and then popped higher, and that's here's that zone. You guys can see right there. That's what it went off of right there. So it went off a legit area. I'd say I'm bearish, but I don't have a trade on this one for tomorrow. Yeah, we're not even hitting that zone up top. I think this one's going to fall probably down to this zone, and then we'll see what type of bounce we get. Depends what time of day. I mean, they're hitting that one down to the 1697. We could be down there before news tomorrow, and in which case, if the unemployment claims number is bad, if they undershot it, again, this could lead us to a pop because there'll be more stimulus coming in. Okay, don't love that one though. Silver, let's see what we got over here. Silver, a little bit of a pullback. This one's obviously still in a downtrend. I mean, we were base, we shot down, and it just retraced this move. So nothing beautiful there. Let's see what do we got here. You guys can see this. Look, boom, and then just retrace. So this one has a couple different interesting areas. I mean, again, this is obviously an area where we've had some sellers. It forced it very, very strongly to the downside. It's already front running it though, so it's going to try to grab some orders and punch through the top. Next level is going to be up here. That level is thus far untested, but there's actually two. There's a level that starts here, and there's a level that starts here. Okay, so let's see 30-minute. Yeah, you guys can see the two different zones there. So this second one here, actually, I would not draw it that way. I would draw it this way. Okay, so I'd probably shrink it just a little tiny bit. But it has spent quite a bit of time there. The top's a little bit cleaner. That's assuming we can get through this zone. Now, this zone here, it's an interesting one. Look at this. So this zone is technically drawn like that. And we went here, we went right to the tip, came back, went all the way in there again, went back, and all the way back in. So, I mean, this is actually hit 3 times already, right? We got one there. You got one sitting right there. And we got number 3 sitting right there. So next one coming through, if we come over here, that's number 4. So I don't think that one's going to hold. So I don't think I'd go short off that level again. I think if anything, I'd be looking for somewhere up here. I have to look at it on a lower time frame. I just don't. Let's see. It's not even that great of an area. Hoping to be a little better there. That one pushed it to the end too. There's a better zone here than this. Here's the zone though. It looks like we'd be sitting here at about 1537. Yeah, it's kind of sitting on that upper zone. Okay. So 1537 is where I'd be looking for shorts on this one. I think this one's a little dangerous. I think we'll end up breaking through this one. If we turn and start to collapse, then it's going to come back down to in this range. Okay. All right. So last but not least, let's go to oil. So remember, this is ECN based data. Okay. So this is a little bit different, and actually, I can pull up the daily FX crude oil. Okay, this hold at 14 ECN data is very similar, but I will pull this one out. All right, so we all know what happened with the contract here, right? I think at this point we've all gotten that one. So looking on the lower time frames, again, we basically need to erase this kind of coming all the way back down to here. So that was the old contract that expired. Nobody wanted it. So now we're sitting up in this range. So looking at the current contract, okay, we really can't draw too much from what happened back here. We can really focus on basically here, this level, and then to here as your other level, right? Because this is the only clean data that we have. Okay. So with that being said, let's go down. Can I drop it down? Yeah, there we go. Let's drop it down to 15-minute and see what type of action we have here. All right. So we obviously didn't spend much time down here going down to this lower figure. We got something sitting right here. Okay. And that comes in at 1650. We're at 14 right now. So we got one there. And let's see, downside. Downside, I'm going to probably have to say here. Yeah, probably there is what we're looking. So you're basically looking at about $11 as kind of like a bottoming it out area. Again, this spike is just the irrational kind of, wait a second, oh my God, this is supposed to go to 7. I need to sell it now, right? At least we had some basing here. We had some stabilization. It didn't make it all the way back down. And we kind of bounced and bounced. And again, we found buyers, found more buyers, and then finally took off. Now, this turned, and there is a level of basing before, but the last time we really had a clean kind of push down, attempt to go up, failure to go higher situation, push down. We came right back in at this 1656. Let's see on a 5-minute if I can shrink either of those. Shrink it a little bit. And then this downside, I wouldn't change the downside too much. I think that downside is good. There is another one just below it as well. Looks like there's another little level sitting right there also on a 5-minute. So yeah, so that's what we have. So right now you have kind of a shorting level right here. And then you have a level down here where you could potentially look for longs off of this level. Whoops, not that one. I need to draw another one. Hold on. Right there. Okay. I can't make this one. I don't think I can make this any bigger. Can I make this bigger? No. Yeah, I can't put text in. So it looks like 1665 is on the top side and $10.91 is on the bottom side. Even in the obviously in the near term right now, there's not going to be a whole lot that we can see here. But that kind of shows you guys, again, the pullback level here and then the basing level down here. Okay, obviously there's a smaller aggressive piece right here, but it kept retesting back into that zone. So I think there's where your top and bottom is going to be as far as safety reasons go. Like I said, oil, the analysis has not really been done at night. The analysis on this one has been more or less done before the market opens tomorrow morning. I do expect it to move a little bit less tomorrow, although there will be a demand story with the amount of unemployed people. But every time we hear about, who's going to reopen and when it's going to reopen, that does actually bring some demand back in the market. So hopefully we can get a bit of a rally in this one. Put it back in a little bit more tradable of an area. I think that's the best way to play it. So right now, if I had to look at everything, guys, I would say that the trade of the day right now, tomorrow, is probably set up to be this S&P trade. There's a couple of the currency pairs, and remember, I'm not going to go through all the pairs tonight, so we're going to cut it a bit short. The voice is going, and it definitely hurts, and want to try to rest it because we do have chart school tomorrow. Going into Friday, let me bring this back over. So this is what we got going on for Friday. That's why I want to make sure that we're ready to go. Friday, we have retail sales that starts early, so I want to make sure that we can get the analysis in because as much as the pound has been moving the last couple days, this could provide some good opportunity to trade this this retail sales. And you guys can see big difference in numbers, right? The previous was minus 0.3. The forecast is minus 5. So huge difference. So this could have some big potential. Okay, this German business climate could be interesting, could be worth something for the euro, basically against the dollar, but we'll see. But then the core durable goods, I'm interested to see what this data is. You can see, once again, huge difference. We were at 1.2 last time. This is supposed to come in at minus 12. Okay, these are big numbers. The market's going to adjust, and these numbers, okay, these numbers are going to show slowing in the economy, which is, again, which everybody knows, but it's how bad is it? That could definitely have us ending the week on a red note. Okay, so I'm definitely interested to know what those things are before the open on Friday morning. So with that said, guys, let's go over and do your exclamation point ticket. Let's go ahead and do the giveaway for tonight, and I can go grab some more tea and start drinking some honey. I'll give you guys about a minute, right? I'll stop this around 1:18, so a minute and 20 seconds. If you guys are new in the channel, do exclamation point ticket. What it does is it gets you some pip chips. Pip chips are basically the channel currency that you guys can buy mentoring sessions. We can talk about whatever you want. Indicators, risk levels, supply and demand, Fibonacci, whatever you like. Stocks, bonds, anything, forex, futures, whatever you guys want. Or I have specific indicators in there as well. All right, and all you got to do is just watch the channel. You get them for free. If you guys follow, great. If you guys subscribe, even greater. Subscription people get pip chips at a little bit faster of a rate, and that's the only difference. Okay. So I'll give you guys 40 more seconds. I know there's a little bit of a delay. I feel like I need like Jeopardy music, right? Like I need like see, the problem is if I put music on, it's gonna be loud. I don't know if I can make the music like. I don't know. I could probably do it. Maybe I'll do Jeopardy music tomorrow. I'll probably get like copyrighted or something. I'll get that copyright button. You stole copyrighted information, so we're gonna mute part of your stream. Ernest is like, I'm gonna get that last one. Ernest is like going in with 2. And remember, James won yesterday, so if James wins again, actually that would be 3 out of 4 if James wins, which would be pretty crazy. But if James wins again, it's worth 100 pip chips tonight. And his boy bought 2. All right, we'll close it down. So you guys will obviously see it. I got to pause for a second for that delay. Winner of the pip chips this evening is... Ooh. Man, he owes you a drink. Ernest got in there at the last minute, bought a second ticket. Let me make sure you can see it, James. James, I just want to make sure you can see this. Ernest, right there. He bought a second ticket at the last minute. The last second. Bam, he got it. He stuck it to you. He stuck it to you. Look at that. Hey, somebody put that meme up about the guy throwing the chair on the Discord channel again, because that was pretty funny. So close that down. Market is complete. We'll go over and the leaderboard. We will go ahead and give Ernest his 25 pip chips. Meanwhile, Will's over there going, I'm not going to win until 2021. All right, guys. So with that said, I'm going to bounce. I'm going to go drink some more tea. We'll catch you guys same time tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will go over trade setups for not only the night, but also Friday morning news. You guys take care, and I'll catch you later.